Hello? Oh, hi, darling.
Half a world away, another day. So let's go play on the moon. It's a starry place. We embrace the space while we're miles away on the moon.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Other Line. I am your host, Kelly Keegs. What'd I say?
Oh my God, is that real?
Yes, and I think it's dead. It could be pretending to be dead.
Oh my God.
What did I fucking say last time? I knew I saw some shit on the wall.
My God.
I knew it.
Oh my God, get a boy.
It. All right, let's relax. We are strong, independent women.
I can kill it.
I don't know if it's dead or not.
You're not supposed to kill it.
No, you can definitely kill it.
Zoom in on it.
I don't know if it's dead or not.
Get this fucker.
It looks kind of squished already, but they play dead. I'm telling you, this is a crusade that I have
want
had
me
to
to go
deal
get a
with for a
cup?
long time.
No, I'll squish
There's a cockroach on the floor. There's a cockroach. Well, it's a cockroach. It's a cockroach. He looks smushed. I can't believe we just all. Oh, it's just on the episode. What should we do about this? Listen, I'm an independent woman. I've dealt with this in my own house a lot of times. Gia's got it right now. Gia's being the most independent woman today.
Good job, G.
This is the worst. I fucking hate this. And can I tell you that, like, I don't think that it will. I don't think it looks.
No, it
pretty
looks pretty
smushed.
dead.
It
Unless
looks
it's
pretty
smarter than
smushed.
us.
Sometimes they're smarter than you think.
Oh, that made my toes curl.
No, but I think it's pretty dead.
How did we not notice it?
I think I see a leg on the side. Ah!
Good job, Gia.
Thank you, Gia. Fuck. Okay, let's just relax after that.
Wow, what a start.
God, this is the shit. What did I say? Remember, I was I thought I was being paranoid.
You
I thought-
manifested it.
I really did. Because I don't know if I actually saw one on the wall last time, but
I can't believe I didn't notice
thought
that when
I
I was
did.
setting up. I
can't believe
notice
either.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because they blend in. You know, they're
Maybe I
fucking
stepped on
terrors.
it by accident and I didn't even know.
Maybe you killed it. Maybe you were the one that killed it.
Shit.
Oh,
That literally made me nauseous.
No, like
I'm
oh
fine
my
with
God.
bugs. I've never had a problem killing a bug, but cockroaches are just really disgusting.
I am the
They
exact
really,
same. They
truly
are my only, like, I'm in fact not afraid of bugs. Like any bug, I'm fine with. Like I'm never bothered by bugs. I'm never like worried to kill them.
Yeah.
It's just I used to like play with daddy long legs when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like I would like
same.
hang them by their
Oh,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
not
Like I
on
was
the
never
same page you
I'm
two
like
are.
I like reptiles. I'm a snake
Yeah.
girl. You guys know this.
Yeah.
The only thing that scares me as far as like the animal kingdom is concerned are cockroaches. And I don't
agree.
know what to do about that.
At least it wasn't a mouse.
And
If it was a
some
mouse,
sort-
I'd
I
burn
think if
this
it were a
place
mouse,
to the
I'd
ground.
probably try to
Some
catch
sort
it
of
and hold it in my
spiders.
hand. Like,
Oh,
I
see,
don't
no,
care.
I'd rather have a cockroach 1,000% of the time than a
Really?
mouse.
Why?
The mouse is so alive. It's like so
That's
sentient
true,
in my
that's
brain.
true.
Like in my last apartment, I had a family of mice living in my pantry,
Oh, God.
which also just scars you as a person. But
Of course.
But I would hear them like ruffling through my things, and there was just nothing I could do about it. Like I couldn't see them, like they were just in the walls, and they would come under my stove, and I would
Oh
see
my
them every
God.
morning. So now I'm like, I can't. They're so sentient. They can see me. I can see them.
Yes.
And the cockroach, I'm like, you seem dumber.
Yes.
Like the
But
mouse, I
think
feel
that's
like
where
to
we
me
go
are
wrong.
harder to kill. Like I'm not scared of a mouse, and like
Yes,
doesn't
I
gross
couldn't
me
kill a
out.
mouse,
But like,
I
I
don't
was.
think.
What are you supposed
I
to
would just
do?
have to catch it. I would
did
catch
a-
it and throw it outside.
I
or
was a
something.
big glue trap. Throw it in my trash room. That's a different
that's
problem.
Smart. That's smart. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Like, as,
I-
you know, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
those.
There was
I mean,
never-
you got to do what you got to do. You can't have a pest in your house, and unfortunately, a mouse falls under the category of pest. And you know, it's sad because mice are cute, and you know,
The rats do not run this city.
yeah, the rats do not run this city, as we have learned from Mayor What's His Face. The rats do not run this city, and we've taken the city back.
We do.
And while they're going on and on about how the rats don't run the city, I think we need to address the bigger problem in the room. It's the fact that the cockroaches do in fact run the city, and that is the battle that we need to enter because we are losing it. We
Yeah.
are losing that battle.
Do you have them in your new apartment?
Knock on wood, so far, no.
I've gotten
And
one,
I-
and that's it.
And I don't
really
know.
happy
I'm like
about that.
afraid. Well, I used to live in Chelsea in Manhattan, if you know where that is. It's on the west side. It's kind of close to the water. If you are in an older building in a neighborhood that's like close to the water, usually the cockroaches like have already come up. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of debate between like, is it a cockroach? Is it a water bug? Are they the same thing? I've done this research for 10 years. Like I was constantly telling myself like, no, they're not cockroaches. They're just water bugs because they would come up the drains and whatever. But cockroaches do the same fucking thing. So I don't know like what the difference is. All I know is that they like They're dark. They move too fast. I have a like bottle of Raid at the ready at all times because I'm so fucking scarred. My first apartment was the worst. I would come home and I had in my apartment there were 3 bedrooms. It was a 2-bedroom flex, and one of the bedrooms had a bathroom in it. And that was my room, which was like dope. But I had a little shower and then just like a toilet and a mirror. So it was small. But in the shower, almost every day I would come home, there'd be a cockroach like playing dead or actually dead in the fucking shower on the floor, clearly having come up from the drain. And again, these are like, I'm like 23, 24, 25 at this time. So I'm like freaking out. I hate it, whatever. It's my like first apartment in New York, blah, blah, blah. I moved to my new apartment. I've been through like 4 apartments, and each one of them, with the exception of one like luxury high rise that I lived in, every single one of them has had cockroaches. And at the same time, I've always been kind of close to the water, and there's always been like well, you live there, so no wonder there are cockroaches. And so far, as of now, on the Upper West Side, we're pretty cockroach free. But again, I don't know. I get worried. I get nervous. It's made me a very like OCD person. Like I won't leave food anywhere. Like it's all locked the fuck
I
up.
always plug my drain now.
Yes, I have a cover for my drain when I'm not home, especially when I'm traveling. You
like
gotta put it on.
days.
Yeah, because if your pipes get dry, they can climb up. Jesus, this is a PSA for those who deal with pests, like this. But wow, what a start! What a start to the show. I'm frazzled. I'm frazzled by that.
Yeah, that was
frazzled
crazy.
by that. But we will prevail because there are bigger issues at hand, ladies. And I am speaking, of course, of the Senate hearing that just concluded concerning the Ticketmaster Live Nation debacle as it concerns Taylor Swift tickets. We are all Taylor Swift lovers here. We are all invested in this story, even though Gia has seats and she's fucking selfish for it.
Fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, like whatever. Like you don't even care about this. You're like, oh, what? It's a Senate meeting this morning? That's so crazy. Bitch, whatever. But no, I like planned on watching this because I think it's interesting how this is blown up, like how much of a problem this is. And people kind of came after me at the beginning of this when I was going kind of hard against Ticketmaster because it was Taylor Swift and whatever. I have said before, I'm not a big concert girly. I don't often go to concerts. I'm never going to sports games. There's not often a time where I need to buy tickets that are like in high demand. You know what I mean? Like if I'm buying tickets, it's to like a Broadway show, and like the hardest I ever had getting tickets to was The Cursed Child. And I like bought it through some like secondary, whatever, and like a timer, I was in some lottery, like it was whatever, but I wasn't like dying to go in a short amount of time, or there was only 3 dates I could go. Like it wasn't quite the same experience. So this really is my first experience with Ticketmaster and dealing with all this bullshit. And everyone has filled me in. This has been going on for years. It doesn't matter the artist, whatever. They have a monopoly. It's bullshit. So after this Taylor Swift debacle, they decided to, in record time, I might say, that only happened in November, and we're already on the floor of the Senate. So that's interesting. Look at me talking like we're already on the floor of the Senate after a couple of months. Like I'm wearing a blazer today, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. But it's interesting to me how quickly they moved. But I was looking forward to tuning into this because if I know the government and the people in the government, I know that they're going to try to like do some stand-up comedy in the middle of these hearings. They're always trying to like, I don't know what they're trying to do.
I feel like this is a good time for them to try to like sway Gen Z, like with like Taylor Swift or even like millennials too.
Totally,
like,
I bet they were fighting tooth and nail to like be in this hearing today.
Young
because
people under the age of 40,
100%.
And so like they're I see all the people using like the lyrics and stuff. And I'm
that's what I was just gonna say. So like they open it up. Amy Klobuchar, who like I don't like anybody. I don't like anybody in the government. I don't like anybody in Senate, in the House. Nothing. I don't like anybody. I don't know enough to talk about any of these people. All I know is what I've seen today and all these people riding for Taylor Swift. And that's with that in mind, that's how I'm talking about these people. I'm not agreeing with their policies or like going either way. I don't know what their shit is. I'm very ignorant when it comes to politics because I just don't understand. Like I feel like everybody tells you different things and I don't know who to trust, and I have trust issues. So that's the problem. But it starts off with Amy Klobuchar, who I know is not great. She immediately an all too well reference, like just quick, like this is a problem that we know all too well. And it's just all these deliveries were like, I understand that you're wanting to, I don't know, like if they're trying to lighten the mood, if they're trying to, like this is their big time to shine. They know that they're streaming. They know that people are watching. And so they're just trying to like let their personalities shine through. Like, I don't know what it is, but I did appreciate the Taylor Swift lyric inserts throughout. I think almost every single one of these people on the Senate, not the people who were like defending. Actually, no, that's a lie. One guy, Sal Nuzzo, I forget his last name. He has 2 daughters, a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they told him that this was the most important thing that he's ever gonna do. And so I loved that. He didn't quote Taylor Swift, but he did say that. And then we had this guy, Senator Lee, who went off, I think like 3 or 4 different times with Taylor Swift lyrics he was talking about. He did the karma's a relaxing thought. Aren't you envious that for you it's not? That was like his closing. He closed the hearing with that. And I was like, great. It was a perfect closing.
That's kind of hilariously awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like in Joe Bernthol's face. I can't think of his name either. Bernthold.
That sounds like someone who would be a politician.
He's what a old man white face he's got. Like Joe Berchtold. Look at his face. This man, come on.
Yeah. He's melting.
So he's fully melting. And so he was the guy that was the representative for Ticketmaster Live Nation. He is the CFO, I want to say president and CFO of Live Nation is who he is. Greg Berchtold. And he had no idea what the fuck he was getting into. Like, I think he came in and thought that everybody was just going to laugh and be like, why are we even talking about tickets? And like just kind of end the whole thing. I have never seen a group of people attack a man in a public setting like this before. They fucking hate him. Like every single answer he gave was not even an answer. He just danced around every single question. They would ask him direct questions like, how much money do you make? You know, how much money do you give the artist? And how much money do you take? And he would be like, well, blah, 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 technically this, that, whatever. And he'd never actually answer the question.
Yeah,
and it was infuriating.
That's why I hate politics, because no one ever answers a fucking question
It's
ever.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I mean, he was sweating the whole time. He's just like public enemy number 1 on the board of people, like I guess like the defense or not the defense, I don't even know what side. The people who were in favor of like fuck you Ticketmaster and Live Nation. There was the CEO of SeatGeek was there, you know, talking major shit. There was this other guy who is the like CEO and president of an independent like production company, Jam Productions or whatever.
Yeah.
There was a guy from the James Madison Institute. That was the guy who had the 2 young girls who loved Taylor Swift. There was this woman, Kathleen, who I can't think of her last name right now. Again, I learned all these people for the first time today. The fact I even know their names right now is a miracle. Kathleen, like Bablish or whatever. She I have never seen such a fire in someone's eyes. Like, I don't know if she personally got fucked by the Taylor Swift tickets, but it seemed like it because she was so pissed. And anytime somebody would make a really good point against Ticketmaster or Live Nation, she would chime and they would ask her opinion and she'd be like, absolutely correct. And like, she was just so hype to fuck this guy over and fuck these people over. And I loved it. But there were a lot of things said, like, what's her face? Marsha Blackburn, who I have since discovered is a piece of shit. We don't like her. She sucks. Taylor, I guess, has actively campaigned against her before. Yeah. She's from Nashville, senator from Nashville. Yeah. And so we hate her. However, she went after this guy with like one of the best bitch outs I've ever seen. Like, she started talking about the bots and she was going on about like, how come, you know, the electric company down the street and the banks and all these other major corporations are able to keep out bots and impersonators, but you guys can't just figure it out. Like, you got to do something better. This is absurd. Like, she just kind of was like yelling at him and bitching him out, which I appreciated. So that's all I'll say about her. But yeah, people just went in on this guy, and I think it was well deserved. He had no straight answers. But the real star of the show today was a man who I didn't know he existed until today, and I'm excited. Excuse me. Hello, we're busy. A man I didn't know existed until today, and I'm very glad I now know his name. His name is Clyde Lawrence, and he is of the group Lawrence. He's a singer-songwriter. The group has band. I have never heard them before. I've
seen them in concert.
Oh my God.
Actually.
Are they amazing? Are they good? I haven't
really
listened
good.
yet.
They're siblings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a guy and a girl. Yeah. So only the guy was there with another member of his like band sitting behind him for support. Really And I'm really excited to listen to them for the rest of the day because I'm in love with that man now. Clyde Lawrence, I'm in love with him.
Yeah.
He had a skinny tie and he looked like Seth Cohen from the OC. And so I'm in love with him now. And he had on glasses and I swear to God, his glasses were fogging up. Like he was so cute. And they had him on because as the artist, and he like wasn't a lawyer, didn't have a lawyer with him, like nothing. He was just coming there to talk about his experience with Ticketmaster and Live Nation and how he thinks it's all fucked up. And they kept making like little jokes like with him being like, his one line was like, oh, as a band who like hopes to one day know what it's like to have so many people crashing a website over your tickets, like blah, blah, blah. And so everybody just kept making jokes like, oh, like what's her face? Marsha was like, just come down to Nashville. And he was like, we were just in Nashville. Like, I don't know. Like he was just so cute and sweet and basically boiled it down to the dollars that were coming back to their band versus the dollars that go to the venues and how they don't have much of a choice but to work with Ticketmaster or Live Nation, which to him looks like a monopoly, but he's not really sure. He said that like they would sell a $42 ticket and the band would see like $6, which is fucking insane to me.
crazy.
And they kept asking him questions more about it. And he just was like, I don't know, man. Like, I know what I know. I know that they didn't tell us like what's included in these like facility fees, like what the fuck this is all about. And he said one thing, I don't want to butcher it. Let me read it, quote tweet, because I tweeted it. He said this one thing that I loved.
$6,
God, I tweeted so much. Okay. He says, why is it standard for Live Nation to take 20% on our merchandise sales while we don't see any of their ancillary revenues like concessions, alcohol, and parking? I thought that was interesting because it's true. Live Nation gets to take bits from the artists, but then they make up for it and then some on the back end with all the other shit they're charging. So it's like, what's happening here? What's going on here? As for the end of the hearing, today, it's not like they didn't like, pound a gavel, make a ruling today. I don't know like how that really goes on or what happens with that. But I guess whatever it is like, again, I know nothing about politics. I know nothing about how this works, but it said something along the lines of like, it's going to be open for the rest of the week. And I guess, I don't know, Joe, what's his face, has to come back with a lot of answers. He kept being like, yes, I'll answer that in writing for you later. Like he wouldn't say anything out loud.
This is a Senate hearing and not a Senate writing.
Right. It was fucking crazy. Yes. Thank you. It was fucking crazy. So I don't know. It was 3 hours of my time that I am glad to have dedicated to this. However, it could have probably been an hour. There was a lot of repeating. Like they all like to hear themselves talk. That's pretty clear.
Was it specifically about the Taylor Swift tour, or was it about Ticketmaster as a monopoly in general?
It was about Ticketmaster as a monopoly in general.
And
but
and Taylor Swift
brought
was
on by, she was like the catalyst, the last straw, whatever. So they brought her up a ton of times. Like they basically were like, we're here because of that situation. And everybody that's been talking about it for so many years should now feel validated and come forward and whatever, because this is where I'm trying to make a change now. One old guy, Senator Kennedy, I don't know who he is. And he said something like, we should just make all of the tickets. He was like yelling in an aggressive way. And he's like, I know what we got to do here. We just got to make all the tickets non-transferable. Problem solved. And he said, it was like a joke. I was like, this isn't like an acting course. Like, what are you doing here? And everybody disagreed with that, except for the one guy who works for Jam Productions, Jerry Mickelson, I think is his name. And so for some reason he agreed. I don't know why, but I guess artists have done that in the past. I guess Pearl Jam did that. They made it so like you couldn't transfer tickets or whatever. But our boy CEO of SeatGeek was like, no way, we don't want that, because people buy tickets and then they want to like give it to their friend or transfer it to whoever. Right. And then, Mr. Kennedy was like, that sounds like an outlier. It sounds like the exception to the rule, blah, blah, blah. He starts quoting like, what's that fucking movie, that ensemble cast? He's just not that into you. He's just not that into you, where it's like you're not the exception, you're the rule. Like that's basically what he was saying. And I was like, fuck off. And he just was out of touch and nobody agreed with him, and it was kind of weird. But everybody else seemed pretty gung-ho, hating on Ticketmaster Live Nation. So we're here for that. So it's a work in progress, ladies. We're working here on the front lines, trying to get this shit right.
And hopefully get Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, for real. We'll get there. I have positive thoughts that we will all get there and we will all enjoy it, and that it will change our lives, So, Yeah, that was a crazy morning. It's put me in a very business-like mood. I feel very formal today. Again, it could be the blazer, but I feel very like I spent a while watching the floor of the Senate this morning. Like I feel better than everybody in the office today. So that's just a positive thing about me.
I wish she was coming to speak about it.
I thought maybe
thought
there
she
would be
might.
some like a bust in dramatically, whatever.
I don't
But
think that's how the Senate works.
I don't think it either. But I wondered like
Special guest.
yeah, exactly. Special guest Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift was on that stream, like the stream would crash. Like that'd be it. Like it'd be the most that people have ever watched a Senate hearing in their lives. But what I thought was interesting, something that my new boyfriend Clyde said was that depending on the venue, you don't really have a choice whether or not to work with Ticketmaster or Live Nation because that's just what the venue does. And if you try to like work with a different venue, or work with different companies, they just won't let you use the venue. And that there are always like lightly veiled threats as to like, all right, well, if, we're not going to promote you. We're not going to help you. You're not going to have access to these other venues and whatever. So a lot of the times the artists will just kind of lie down and let it happen because they're like, well, what are we supposed to do here? We're kind of backed into a corner. And it sounds like, and I really don't know how much Taylor Swift can get involved herself, but it sounds to me like a little bit of don't bite the hand that feeds you. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that she's being selfish in not coming to Senate today and talking about it. Like, I don't know. But I do think that like they have the monopoly. They still have the monopoly actively. Like she doesn't want her tour to get canceled because she's on the floor of Senate, like talking shit. Like I feel like that would be a bigger issue for the fans than like sense. This was already. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or what the deal is with that, but that's how I feel. Moving on. And speaking still of politics and the government and all of that, we don't get the M&Ms anymore, ladies. No more M&Ms.
M&Ms got their boots back.
Their
boots back.
Yeah.
Plus size.
And is a
so
lesbian.
Lesbian.
That clip of Tucker Carlson is so fucking funny to me. Like, I wonder what he is like in real life. Like, it's clear that
we were talking about this on Plan B. We're like, there's just no way he's as absurd in real life than he is on TV.
No one says that and means it. Like
exactly.
Green M&M's got their boots back. Like no, that's just not real words.
He's like bored as fuck of his own material, and so I'm like curious about. I mean, I'm not like standing up for him at all. I think he still perpetuates a ridiculous system, but I think terrible. That but I do think that like have we finally jumped the shark? Like have we finally taken it too far? Mm-hmm. These are cartoons. Like I don't know. It's also
just crazy
wild.
For the M&M like Mars to like be
Speak
like, well, you know what? We're gonna take away the M&Ms. Like.
If you're not going to be nice to the M&Ms, you don't get the M&Ms.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get.
You get Maya Rudolph.
Yeah, exactly. Which like, I'm down for Maya Rudolph. Love that. Yeah, fine with that.
But I want the.
But it's just silly. Like you're like falling into the trap.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Like if you like just don't
if anything,
the
discourse about it is good advertising for you guys.
Publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I've been craving peanut M&Ms ever since I saw that clip, and I haven't got my hands on any, but I need to.
I think I have some in my backpack.
I might have some on my desk now that I think about it. I think I stole some from Casey's baby shower.
But it's just so silly. Like, I just don't understand why they thought paying Maya Rudolph God knows how much to be the new spokesperson is a better idea than just not listening to what people are saying and continuing
Tucker
on.
Carlson.
Yeah, I know. Like, I also don't understand, and maybe it has to do with colors. Why couldn't they just like add more M&Ms to satiate the needs of all these people? Like, why are they changing the? I feel like when companies start to change things to appease other people, it's a slippery slope. But I think that it's like polarizing either way. So if we didn't like green M&M and her stilettos, why not make another M&M that's a different color with a different boot option? Like, or you know what I mean? Or like,
I think it's probably a color limitation thing.
There must be, right? Like, there's only so many colors.
M&Ms.
Yeah. But then why can't we have multiples? Like, why can't we have multiples?
Yeah. True.
Green sister. One green wears boots, other green wears stilettos, third green wears flats. Like, what's the big deal? Like, there's a whole family. There's plenty of green M&Ms in a bag of M&Ms.
Exactly.
Let's just make it a huge big family. Like, what's the problem?
It's so silly.
Artist ran out of digital ink on the computer. I don't like. What are we doing here? It seems so fucking stupid. But it's crazy how I saw so much about it the past couple of days and the past weeks or whatever. So much so that I was like wanting to bring it up. I just think that I don't know. People just get like can we just chill out? Like everybody just needs to chill the fuck out.
People are just getting too mad because they felt like the M&Ms were too woke.
Right.
And then Tucker Carlson would talk about it all the time about how the M&Ms are too woke, blah, blah, blah. So then it like just started this whole discourse about how like should we be like changing the M&Ms?
Should
Or,
we be
like,
woke
if they're
about M&Ms?
making the M&Ms sexual, like the green M&M? It's just so stupid.
It's so dumb.
It's like,
It's
why
so
do we
dumb.
care if the green M&M is wearing high-heeled boots or sneakers?
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But
crazy.
It's like all anybody's fucking talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why. I don't know what the hell is going on. I've yet to see like an M&M's commercial starring Maya Rudolph though. So
no,
like,
I
is
have
that
a
coming?
feeling they're
or-
gonna do a big one on the Super Bowl, and hopefully
Oh,
they
good
make a
thinking.
joke out of it.
I've heard that this is all Super Bowl press.
That is great thinking. That's all great thinking.
But like, I don't know if Tucker Carlson is getting involved in like the
No,
behind
definitely
the scenes
not.
of the Mars Super Bowl.
they're probably just if they're doing this as one big advertisement for the Super Bowl, then they're just feeding into the internet outrage, knowing that someone like Tucker Carlson's always going to pick it up. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
totally.
they're always going to talk about this bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's so fucking stupid. Like what a waste of time to even like talk about it right now. It's just a waste altogether. More
There's
internet.
real news.
Yeah, right. We'll lead into the real news, which is the fashion shows are out of control.
Exactly.
What does it say the name again? Schiaperelli? Schiaperelli, sorry.
I believe that I might botch that, but
yeah, something along those lines. Had a fashion show in Paris, and I love fashion shows. I'm a fashion show girl. I'll watch them live streamed if I have the chance, or if it's available to me at the time or whatever. I love looking at the looks afterwards. Think it's super fun. I think that people on Earth, more people need to be educated in the fact of fashion shows. We're in the way of like what you see on a runway at a fashion show isn't what's going to be sold in stores. I feel like people have that real disconnect. Like they see some shit like Kylie Jenner walking in with a fake lion's head as an accessory draped over her shoulder, and they think like Kylie Jenner is promoting killing lions in Africa, and she wants us all to go to the store and buy this and wear this outside.
Yeah.
That's not fucking happening.
Yeah.
Fashion shows
It's like
are a place
one
for
of
art.
one outfit.
Exactly.
They're not
exactly.
selling that. Yeah.
Fashion shows are a place for art and inspiration, and that's where people draw their inspiration from. Even the artists that make these runway looks, most of the time, a direct from the runway look isn't possible. Like you don't; those are reserved for celebrities and models and people that they want to be seen in these runway looks. Like they're not selling them at Bloomingdale's. They're not selling them at fucking Target.
And there's still like an iteration of it.
Yes.
Like it's not like you see like Harry
They
Styles
make it more
is, like-
accessible.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Harry Styles wore this from the runway, and it's not an exact replica. Also, it reminds me of the Devil Wears Prada monologue.
I was
like,
just
about
gonna fucking say
cerulean
that.
blue. It's like
Yes.
this happened.
It's actually
so-
not blue. It's cerulean, and
Yeah.
it went down.
And
Found
it's
its way into the
because-
bargain bin you fished it out of. Like
Exactly.
that's
It's like we're not wearing that. We
No.
might get a shirt in H&M in a year and a half that has a lion on the chest.
exactly
Like that's what we're getting out of that.
100%. And people need to understand that. That's one side of things. The other side of things, the fact that PETA and animal rights activists and all these other people are coming out of the woodwork to yell at Kylie Jenner for wearing a fake stuffed lion head on her shoulder is so fucking stupid. I can't even comprehend it. I really can't. Like I understand, obviously, like, poaching is terrible. Nobody likes poaching. Nobody likes that shit. Like, we're not doing that. We're not encouraging that. We're not saying this is cool, whatever. No one's wearing real lion heads around. You know how somebody said this? I don't know who said it in this building or to me or whatever. Imagine how heavy that would be if it was a real lion head. Like,
Yeah,
think about
what?
that.
Like,
Think about the
use your
logistics of
brain.
it. Yeah, use your brain. Think about the logistics of it. That's fucking insane. Especially someone like Kylie Jenner is not going to be an advocate for the destruction of animals in any capacity. I just can't imagine anyone truly thinking that. And I saw the amount of outrage I saw on Twitter yesterday about it was fucking crazy. Everyone's like, this is disgusting. This is gross, whatever. I'm like, she's just wearing, it's as if she literally, like, do you think stuffed animals are disgusting and gross? Like, that's the same fucking thing we're doing right here. Like, she might
just
as
more
well,
realistic.
right. She might as well have gone to the Disney store, picked out a Mufasa, like, fucking plush toy and stuck it on her shoulder. Like, it's to me, that's the same. It's the same. Maybe it's a more realistic version, whatever. Are we going to come after Cara Delevingne because she's had a lion tattooed on her finger for 10 years? Like, at what point is it like, this is symbolism for something, not the literal act of something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, totally.
it's hard to explain, but I don't know why, again, people can understand that. And maybe people just want to get outraged. Like, I don't know. I feel like I talk a lot on the show about like the outrage of the internet. And I think that it's mostly just because that's where I live all day long, like, especially for work and whatever. I'm always on. I always see these things. And it really blows my mind all the time how these people can get so upset over something that like they've created out of thin air. Like it makes no sense. Have you guys seen anything about, like, has Kylie said anything about this? Probably not. I don't think she would.
She's wearing an ugly outfit yesterday, like the blue dress with the pink heels.
Oh yeah, that was ugly.
Oh,
That
wait,
was ugly.
what? I like that.
I didn't like it.
It was like, I understood what she was going for, like pops of color, whatever. They are complementary colors in a way, but you know, it's a little, I
It
think
looked
that,
cheap.
yeah, like those color combos and styles can look cheap quickly, and knowing that it's not cheap and still looking cheap is a tough thing to come back from. So I agree with that. But yeah, I don't know. Also, not to be forgotten, Doja Cat wearing a billion Swarovski crystals. What do we think she did there? Did they paint her skin and then glue them all onto her, or was she wearing like a?
You know, they probably had like formed it to her and glued like something onto her. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking.
Like a sheet?
I don't think they did it one by one. I think they had them on like a sheet.
Right,
and
'cause
then
it didn't look like-
molded it to her skin.
Totally, because it didn't look like paint or anything.
That would take fucking forever.
It would take to like a billion hours.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that they must have whatever was like over
Maybe
her
like
head,
a fake
like
skin or something.
totally.
Yeah.
Like it must have
Second
been a lot of
skin.
prosthetics, a lot of
Yeah.
like costume type stuff, and that kind of leads me into the whole point I was bringing this up is that fashion shows are basically just like ridiculous art shows. It's just a place for everybody to go and dress up like they're in the Hunger Games.
Fashion is a form of
And-
art.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think
People
that people
forget
take it so
that.
literally.
Yeah, people forget that when they see fashion, and especially nowadays with the internet. You know, if you want to get your brand to have recognition and have people talk about it, you have to do these things that are out of the box
100%.
and that are like weird, and people aren't going to like it or they're going to love it because some people understand and some people don't.
Totally.
But like with Schiaperelli, like they're the kind of brand that is like known for really like having some weird shit.
yeah, some absurdist fashion. Yeah.
And that's like why they are such a big brand name, and they have people like Doja Cat and Kylie Jenner wearing their stuff, and like fucking Naomi Campbell walking in their shows. Because if you're having just a run of the norm fashion show of people walking up and down the aisle wearing a black dress,
Who's
no
going to
one's
talk
gonna
about
say
it?
anything.
Yeah, who's going to talk about it?
So it's all about like artistic freedom and, you know, like clickbait at the end of the day. Like
100%.
just
It's marketing.
like,
It's marketing.
yeah.
Marketing and PR, and that's what you need. Like it's one thing to design clothing or make art for a consumer, and it's another to make art and put on a show for the people in that room who respect art and respect what they're doing, but also make sure that it's going to make headlines, make sure that it's going to grab somebody's attention. That's what you need to do to bring recognition. Now all of a sudden this brand has name recognition, and someone will go think of them and be like, oh, I wonder what their stuff is actually like. And then you go and see that they have some funky stuff that's actually really cute. I love the brand.
The thing about them is, even though, you know, it's so out of the box, their stuff is so fucking cool.
So cool.
So
It's
cool. Some of their dresses that they had, I was pretty much in awe of how unbelievable and unique they were.
Totally.
And yeah, it's weird, but like people have to be like, people have to like get away from the norm of like, if you want to like make it in fashion, I feel like you really need to like have the next big thing.
100%.
And they really do a great job of that, like with their like bags. They have like the face bags that are so iconic.
I love those. The
cool.
dresses you said. I almost bought a dress. From them for my friend's wedding, and then I ended up getting that sequin suit with the feathers and whatever.
Yeah.
And I was close to buying. There were so many just like show-stopping looks, which I think is interesting, and it's hard to come by. Like everything looks so fun. Either something is interesting and unique and cool, or it's run-of-the-mill, dime a dozen, buy it anywhere. I might as well get it on Amazon. You know what I mean? Like if you're a brand that wants respect and you want to be known as a fashion brand and not just like fast fashion or trendy or of the moment, these are the things you do. And I just the people that talk shit about like fashion shows and whatever, you just don't like fashion. Then you just don't get it.
Yeah,
like,
you just don't,
sorry, you just don't get it.
Really,
like,
you really just don't get it.
yeah, not to be that bitch, but it's like
no.
you just don't get it. Like what? Tell me this, and this is something that I have thought about later in my life. Just because when I was younger, I would have like snap judgments or thoughts and just like dismiss things for being ugly or weird or whatever, as far as like fashion and art goes. Now, maybe just because I've like paid attention to it for so long, I think about it from the perspective of the artist or the designer or whoever it is and how much work they put into it. And that's how I judge what it looks like. Like if maybe it looks crazy, maybe it's not necessarily for me. Like maybe I'm not going to be like walking down, the fucking street, 7th Avenue wearing it. But I think it's interesting that they had this idea, they executed it, put it into real life, and now it's in a show. That to me deserves respect regardless of like what it looks like. And, and maybe that's just like oh wow, I respect art. I respect artists. Like maybe that's just the mindset you need to have. Yeah. But so many people want to shit down everybody's throat just because they came up with something different. Like what's the problem? Like, I don't know. People have to stand out. Like we said before, it's like just what's a big deal? What's a big deal?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I completely agree.
I don't get it. But yeah, like Naomi Campbell looked amazing. I will say though, the one that looked silly that I did laugh out loud at, but I understood like where it was coming from, was the girl in the dress, but she had like the metal face over her head. It was like, it looked like an Easter Island head, but it wasn't really shaped like that. It was more circular, but she had like it was like a helmet, but it was of a whole like head on top of her head. And she looked like, I don't know. It was funny watching it on the aisle, but it was like, it doesn't necessarily draw attention away from the dress. It just like makes the outfit. It makes the piece. And like, you're not distracted by the model. Her face is covered. Like it's, I don't know. It was just like
honestly,
a silly
probably brings
thing.
more attention to the dress. You're like, why the fuck is she wearing that? And you're like, oh my God.
Right.
Dress.
And you're like, wow. And it was like a simple dress. It was like a plain long black dress. And she had this big like head on top of her head. And it was pretty fun.
Right. Like you're not wearing that and wearing that. Like
exactly.
You're wearing the black dress and then like a big necklace.
Exactly.
It's just
interesting. And I also thought to myself, like, how did they make that giant head? Like, how is she wearing it? Is it heavy on her shoulders? How is she even walking down the runway?
What's
like
the design choice.
Exactly.
There?
Yeah. And it brought me like a whole new level of respect. I'm like, damn, that model, like she has to walk out here. Can she even see out the front of that? I don't know. Like, brought up all these other questions, and it just makes you think more about the show. And I think that that's what they're looking for ultimately. We also have the Oscars upon us today.
Let's
the
chat.
Nominations came out. That's kind of a quick segue. I didn't really have a good segue for that, but the Oscars came out today. The nominations. I think they're pretty good. I haven't gotten like a full look at them all. Let's see. Oscars. La. I already have qualms though.
I have one big qualm.
I have one big qualm as well. What's yours?
Ana de Armas.
Yep, Ana de Armas for Blonde. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's so stupid.
That's
outrageous.
The biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. That movie was so fucking bad.
It was disgusting.
Oh my God, it was so bad. And
it was disgusting.
Pissed me off because whenever I get into this rant, my friends are always like, why do you care so much about Marilyn Monroe? It's not even the fact that it's Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. If I was famous.
Yes.
And in the same aspect as Marilyn Monroe was an actress who was known for being open with her sexuality, showed off her body, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I die, and then somebody makes a movie on me based off a story that's not even true.
Right, yes.
Is that real? And then
yes.
paints
None of
me
it is
out
real.
to be like this, like, I don't
Harlequin.
know.
Yeah, like this
exactly.
Harlequin who just like kills babies.
Exactly.
That's literally what they made it look like.
Exactly.
That was my major problem. It is propaganda. Yeah. Thank you. I keep fucking saying this, and I said this I think on KFC Radio a long time ago whenever it came out, and I watched it and I talked about it. For those who haven't seen Blonde, and I'm not saying go run and watch it. Don't even bother.
That,
right, don't even give them that validation. Like it's so fucking stupid. The movie itself is it's based on a Hollywood starlet who was famous, who was comfortable with her sexuality, who was objectified because of her sexuality, was pushed around by her agencies and encouraged to get abortions, but sort of not really. And it was just like this, this very dramatic story of a Hollywood starlet. That would have been fine. If it was a very dramatic story of a Hollywood starlet starring Ana de Armas as this Hollywood starlet, would have been fine. To be honest, Ana de Armas acted her ass off. I won't lie.
I completely agree.
But the fact that they decided to make it they made the character Marilyn Monroe makes people think that these stories that are being told in this movie are true.
She
and
deserves
they're not.
No recognition for that role at all.
Nothing.
And I can't
shouldn't have
believe
taken it.
she even accepted the role
That's
in
what
the
I'm
first
saying.
place.
Shouldn't have taken it. Shouldn't have done it. Should have read the script. Said,
Yeah.
is any of this true
Yeah.
about Marilyn Monroe? And when they said no, it's not. You should have been like, no, I'm not gonna perpetuate this
Totally.
then because this is insane.
It's insane. I have my friends watching this movie. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that happened to Marilyn Monroe."
You can't believe it because it didn't happen.
Not true.
Because it literally didn't happen.
It's
It literally
not
didn't happen.
True. You have all these people watching this show thinking that it's a biography about Marilyn Monroe's life
Yes.
when it's literally not true. Like they like that weird threesome couple.
No,
like,
it's fucked up.
It's just crazy.
It's fucked up.
Crazy to
I
me
will
that she
never-
read that script, knew it wasn't true, and said yes to doing it.
The fact that she read through the parts where it's the baby
The
talking
baby
to her from
speaking?
within her
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Please don't kill me this time.
what?
the literal fuck? I will
Yeah.
impersonate that scene
It makes
any
me think
moment
that
I
she's
can.
probably like pro-life.
Exactly.
On
Like,
the
which
Armas?
is
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She's
who knows? Like I don't know.
Where's she from?
She's
Columbia
she's
or-
Hispanic and could be like Catholic.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I
traditionally.
feel like she's probably like very, very Catholic.
Yeah,
Or
which
some
she
sort
could
of-
be.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and like that's fine. But again, and believe what you want to believe. I don't believe that that's right, but believe what you want to believe. Don't shove it down my throat in an Oscar movie
Yeah,
about
totally.
with lies, and then get nominated for an Oscar. Like that makes me think that the not that the Academy are the greatest judges of people ever.
Yeah.
I love watching the Oscars. I love this time of year. I love making sure I've seen all the movies so I can watch the award show and I can decide from my own couch who I think deserves what. That's super fun to me. But I don't always think that the people
yeah.
that are decided and the people that are nominated
yeah.
are correct. And in this case, it's not correct.
Yeah, I've never felt like this heated over a nomination before.
Same.
Like, usually I'll be like, you know what, whatever.
Yeah.
Tweeted something that made sense. It was like,
Yeah, no.
even though her acting was good, the movie sucked so
Yeah,
bad that she
Yes.
shouldn't be nominated.
Like we shouldn't be. I
I
hate that we're
said-
bringing attention to this movie.
I'm
Still,
a firm believer in if the movie sucked but the acting was good, it doesn't matter, and you shouldn't get nominated because the movie sucked.
couldn't agree more.
And if we're going off that, like, if Ana de Armas is getting nominated for that shit of a movie, where is Florence Pugh for Don't Worry, Darling?
Where is Florence Pugh for
Because-
Don't Worry, Darling? Because that movie, you're right. Because that movie was whatever, but Florence Pugh acted
Yeah.
her fucking dick off in that
Right.
movie, and
Yeah.
and like
I liked the movie, so like
I did
and
too.
I'm biased, whatever.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
It had more positives. Okay, it had a lot of negatives along with it, but like more positive reviews in the movie than Blonde did.
without question. Also,
And Florence Pugh
the whole
acted
point,
her dick off.
She acted her dick off. Also, the message of Don't Worry, Darling is the exact opposite of like Blonde, which is like, oh, you're beaten down by the man and then you die.
Yeah.
The message of Don't Worry, Darling is don't let men keep you down.
Right. Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
let men gaslight you into
Well, they're-
thinking you're
yeah.
you're
The
not in a
men
fake
of
world.
the fucking Academy are
Yeah.
the ones that are like,
Crusty.
I get it.
These
Yeah,
crusty,
unfortunately,
crusty
the Oscars
men.
will always like be so backwards in a way, just
It
like
sucks,
very
yeah.
slow to the times of recognizing like actual good performances
Yeah.
and actresses and actors.
Yeah,
I
you're
will,
right.
I will also say our friend Bob tweet or put it on the Instagram. I would also put a snub of Mia Goth in Pearl.
Oh my god, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just saw that a couple weeks ago and it was fucking insane.
I didn't
like
see it.
what
I'm
an
not a
amazing
scary person movie, but I've heard
it
nothing
wasn't
but
so
amazing things
it wasn't
about
so
her.
much scary as it was. I have a hard time differentiating between scary and gore. Because
I don't
think
like
that,
either.
I think that they're different, right? Like I think that Mia Goth murdering people the way that she did
see
in that
that
movie
No, too scary.
was not like scary. It was abrupt and it was like, oh fuck, I can't believe this is happening. But there weren't. I think when I think scary, I think like ghosts and jump scares and like
And I
that
think
kind of
blood
shit.
and killing.
Blood and killing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But
That's
Bob was
my-
like,
yeah.
she got absolutely snubbed for that.
Totally
rather than
snubbed.
like Ana de Armas.
That,
I think
I mean,
Timothée
what a,
Chalamet
I can't
should've
believe you brought that
got
up.
nominated for Bones and All.
Yes.
Did
And
Bones
the
All
chick
get
too,
nominated?
the girl too, Taylor
Taylor
something.
Russell?
Taylor
Russell,
something-
yeah.
Taylor-
Did
yeah.
Bones and All get nominated for
No.
anything?
Not
Or did it
anything
come
else.
out
Insane.
too late?
Paul Mescal got nominated for
Paul
Paul
Mescal,
Mescal.
Best
looking
Actor.
fucking fly, baby.
I think
Single
of-
boy, single man. Paul Mescal, what's his face?
Hello.
Nicholas Braun is like, he's on the back burner. He
Yeah.
like has a girlfriend. So Paul
We're-
Mescal,
we're-
I heard you're single.
Yeah, we're Team Paul Mescal.
Bo Burnham ain't got
in
nothing
this.
on you, baby.
I
No.
want to watch After Sun tonight.
I want to
think-
watch it really.
Ooh, I should watch that
Apparently
too. I
it's a
don't.
tearjerker.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Oh yeah. Also, like I haven't even seen what he was
No,
nominated
I've heard
for.
it's insanely good.
It's for
Oh,
After Sun. Yeah.
Also,
Okay,
another man
okay.
on our new list, Josh Duhamel. Hello.
What a man! Ooh, Josh Duhamel was in the office yesterday, and
the most
I
attractive man I've
can
ever
I tell
seen
you
in my
what happened? So he came around. He like came around to do a tour of the office before his interview with Rhea Fran, and he like came into like the bullpen, I guess you'll call it, and I'm sitting there with like my headphones in but nothing playing. I was like typing, so I'm always doing that. I'm like, just don't talk to me because I'm typing right now. I'm trying to focus. He comes around and he's like, wow, this place is awesome. This place is amazing. And I was like, this place? Like, this is like, there's literal trash piled up. There's cockroaches on the floor. Like, I don't know about this place. And so he's like, wow. And he's like, real sports company. Like, I'm just looking for someone to talk sports. And he kept saying
He kept saying
and everyone
that.
was like looking at him like whatever. Frank. And he kept being like, can someone talk sports to me? Like begging people.
Sports.
Yeah, like begging people to talk sports. And so he starts
really wanted to talk sports.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm a Vikings fan, whatever. And I'll tell you guys, there is nothing that I wanted more in that moment than to be able to whip out an arsenal of sports knowledge. I so badly wanted to be like, hello, yes, hi, Josh Duhamel. I actually am well versed in the topic of sports, and I'd love to discuss it with you.
I love Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I was so close to being like, I love Kirk Cousins just because he said Vikings. And I was like, oh, almost. I was like, Kirk Cousins. But then I was like, no, shut up, you bitch. Like, shut up. Don't act like you know what you're talking about right now because he's going to ask you more and you're going to look foolish.
Yeah.
He passed like
couldn't.
me, Gia, Grace, Bree, all of us while he was going from Chicks to Pardon My Take.
Yeah.
And he just looks at all of us and goes, anybody know if Dak Prescott is still on the Cowboys? I literally was like, do you want him? Like, I'll trade him myself if you want him gone. Like, I don't care where. Do you need something done?
Yeah. What would you like? What would you like?
I was like, do you need something? And then PFT was like, Madeline, like, what do I ask Josh Duhamel? I don't really know much about him. And I was like, just ask what it's like to be like that hot. And he was like, he was like, that's the only question on my list so far. It's
straight
like,
up.
how is it being that hot?
That man. Oh my God, what a man. And no, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. No one has aged like fine wine harder than Josh Duhamel. I'm ready to say it. Like after seeing him in person, holy fuck. Like
rose my rankings.
He is
quite a
so
bit.
hot. He is so hot. Apparently he just recently got married again though. So I'm
like a
bummed out.
27-year-old.
Yeah, to a girl who's like younger than me, which is bullshit, which means that I could have had a chance, which is so shitty to feel. You know, I don't know. I think that the amount of times that I watched Win a Date with Todd Hamilton kind of automatically puts me in the running to like be his girlfriend. So it's kind of fucked up that he didn't call me up or that, you know, that information wasn't stored in his personal database somewhere. So I guess I'll have to settle for Topher Grace. You know, who I love as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, did you guys watch any of that 90s show?
I watched clips of it, but
I watched the first episode. Watched the first episode. It was cute. I watched all of the, you know, the surprise comebacks. You know, we got, you know, Donna, Kelso, Jackie, Eric, the parents. Everybody's there pretty much. I think throughout the season more people will be coming, but I think I'm all set after watching one episode. I don't think that it was that interesting.
I heard the kids kind of ruin it.
The kids ruin it. And I had this conversation with my brother. I was like, Sam, it kind of sucks, but these kids are just like not really good actors. And what sucks is like when all of the original actors on that 70s show were playing the actors on that 70s show, they were older than high school kids, obviously. Like they were in their 20s or whatever. And these kids are legitimately the age that they're supposed to be. And sometimes child actors just don't do it for me.
They don't
like,
do it for you.
I need the adults to come in.
Yeah.
Like I need whatever. And my brother was laughing, being like, yeah,
They're
I guess
just not that good at acting.
Right, they're just not right.
No.
They're just not seasoned enough. And
No.
like for a reboot this big, I'm like, yes, the adults carry it, obviously, but and maybe they'll get better. I'm gonna give them faith. Like they're kids, they have to start somewhere, whatever. But this was just like
They're kind of getting like Disney Channel.
Big time, huge Disney Channel vibes. Which again, whatever. But that was my thoughts on that. Yeah, I don't know, but damn, Josh Duhamel, what a hottie! I can't get over it. So hot. I have two more things I want to talk about. I'm going to save the best for last. The latest, I've been posting more TikToks. I'm trying to post more TikToks. I only post TikToks when I look cute. And
Don't we all?
I try to like crank them out. But I've realized that there are so few days that I look cute. Like I dress up good on days that I record. And sometimes in the office, if I'm like feeling, you know, like I talk about all the time, like I don't feel sparkly, but if I am not feeling sparkly, usually I'll throw on a shit ton of makeup and like a cute outfit to like make it better. Like today I wasn't feeling sparkly and I just have so much eyeshadow on. It's like my eyelids are heavy, you know? And so that's how it goes. And these are the days I start making TikToks because I'm like, I need this to happen. Everybody discovered the past couple of days that the people who work at TikTok, specifically in the US, can pick and choose who to make go viral. And I'm sure that we all knew this all along in our heart of hearts, but it's just sad to hear. I thought that it was like organic and
I know it is
you know,
sad to hear.
It was exciting
It's
to me being like,
just
wow, I can't believe Alex Earl got so famous overnight. Like,
Yeah.
okay, somebody likes Alex Earl at TikTok and is
Right.
posting everywhere. I mean, I love her. I'm not saying she deserves it. She deserves everything. She deserves the world. I love her so much. But I mean, you know, what does she?
Yeah.
But
I feel
does
like
she?
she
But
already like has a lot.
Well, yeah, she's rich, but
I think it's
I
like
just
the
think that
Charli
she's cute.
D'Amelio effect. Like you see,
She's cute for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see like this person gaining a lot of traction, and it's like, okay, let's just boost the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the new person.
That's what I mean. Like they just they do that kind of shit. And so like Alex Earl, like I like her so much. I think that she is cute in her videos. I'm not going to say that she's relatable. I don't necessarily think that she's relatable. I think that she is honest, and I think that that is something that we're lacking all over the place, especially when you see someone who's like that hot and pretty and rich being honest. It's like usually that's not the case.
Yeah, she's
Usually
like a
they're
nice
gatekeeping and-
Serena van der Woodsen.
Exactly, which I love. I like that category. Like I'm not like faulting her for being rich or already having like what she had. Like that's all fine. I do agree though. It's like how much more famous can she be? But again, at this point, she got the boost from TikTok, and now it's not up to her. It's not up to TikTok anymore. It's the brands. The brands are going apeshit for her.
Yeah.
She got the recognition.
She got
and
to
now
go to
she's-
Dubai.
Yeah, she's in Dubai. She's she got to go there. She got to do the Tarte trip. She's doing the whole thing. Did we talk about that already last? No, that happened this weekend. Yeah,
no, we didn't talk about it.
the Tarte trip. I thought it looked cool. I was not blown away. But people that's another thing. People don't understand. Like brand trips happen all the fucking time.
And
Like
Tarte has done this millions of times.
exactly. Revolve does it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's a constant. It's
I
a
think it's
constant
just
thing.
crazy that it was Dubai. People are
I
just
guess,
like,
yeah.
I cannot believe they're going to fucking
Dubai
Dubai
on
for 2
business
days.
class with Emirates. Yeah,
Yeah,
It
that
was
is kinda
2
crazy.
days. Like you don't even get to adjust to the time.
Right. Like don't you
And
feel
like
sick
out
the
of
whole
all
time?
places, like
They're problematic.
I don't know.
Also, like,
right
yeah,
now.
like, the
why
politics of
promote
it-
Dubai when you could like go somewhere a little less
yeah,
problematic?
exactly.
Also, everyone was in fucking Dubai this fucking weekend.
There was the Beyonce concert also.
Yeah,
It was
Kendall
that was
Jenner.
a separate issue. It was Kendall Jenner's
Separate.
818 party. I saw was there.
Again, why Dubai?
No idea. But
Because
everybody,
they got
our guy,
that dirty money and they'll pay
exactly.
you
Our
big
guy,
bike.
our guy Jack Mack is he's sniffing them out. He
Yeah.
thinks the UAE is paying for all these
Which I'm sure
influencers
they
to come
are.
over, which they could be.
Kendall Jenner's little
Beyonce got
clip of
paid
her
Someone
being
said,
like,
yeah.
$24 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. People are questioning that though. I'm not one for the record. I'm not Bayhive. I am hard in the Bayhive. Don't come for me. But people are saying that they think it's a little shady that Beyonce gave her first live performances of Renaissance in
No,
Dubai
I completely
with all of
agree.
their
I
bullshit
agree.
going on.
I was really disappointed in her for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, at the end of the day, I'm
I'm
like,
just
get
wondering
your
why.
bag,
money motivates everything.
get
yeah.
your money. You know, if I was in her shoes and someone said 24 million, come play here, I would probably do it no matter where it was.
I think I would too.
If it was
But
dirty oil money.
it just,
Yeah.
I just feel like Beyonce already has so much fucking money.
Right.
Like, I just love her.
Right,
and I
like,
was
do you
just
need that?
sad. I was
I
just
know.
sad.
I know. I
That's
was
the thing.
upset
Is
about that.
at what point is it greedy?
Or disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yeah, disappointed. At what point is it greedy? At what point do you need to like stand for something? But again, I'm not very well versed. I know that Dubai is a shady place. I know that they have shitty policies. I know that they don't support a lot of the things they should be supporting, and that's all I pretty much know about Dubai. I also know that Dubai is not a fun place to visit because it has no history. That's something that I
Yeah,
learned.
It's like 30 years old.
I believe Caleb Presley told me that when he
Jack
went
Mack
there.
told me about all of
Yeah.
Dubai.
Went there and said that
stuff.
it wasn't that cool. It was cool to see because it's like a futuristic city, but everything was just built in the past, however many years within our lifetimes. And so there aren't any like museums. There's not like a place to. It's just a lot of like futuristic spots. And I guess if that's your jam, that's your jam. But if I'm going to a new country, a new place, a new city, whatever, I'm somebody who likes to learn the history. I'm somebody who likes to know what the
I
fuck is
completely
up.
agree.
I think that's what makes it interesting, not the fact that you can, there's like 4 different kinds of takeout. Hey, Hank. Okay, he's leaving.
Hey, Hank.
I don't know if he needs. Oh, he's just saying goodbye. Okay. I didn't mean to scream "Hey, Hank" into the microphone.
Yeah, I Dubai
just-
kind of scares me because of how like futuristic it is. Also, Jack Mack was telling me it's just like plopped in the middle of the desert. I didn't realize how
exactly. They just built it out of nowhere.
Like I didn't realize how
Yeah.
like middle of nowhere.
It's literally in the
It
middle of
is.
nowhere. So it's a sketchy spot. I, for a long time, was wanting to visit Dubai. I had a friend who lived there and was always talking it up. And I was interested in going. And what should have been my first sign of it being weird was his surprise that I wanted to visit. He was like, really? You'd come here? Like, you'd visit this place? Like, he's like, it's a long flight. I'm like, I don't care about a long flight.
Yeah.
Take a sleeping pill. Who gives a fuck? I've never been deterred by a long flight. But now looking back, I think the surprise is probably because it's like a sketchy fucking place. So I don't know. But regardless, all that aside, TikTok is pulling some strings behind the scenes. And I'm left wondering, like, who is it that I, have to get in contact with? Who do I need to schmooze? Who do I need to butter up? Who do I need to make out with? Who do I need to have sex with? Like, these are all the questions that I need to know. because I'm now trying to be a TikTok star. So
Yeah.
really, that's the question.
Who do I need to
Zara
fuck
Larson
at the TikTok
exactly. Did you see
headquarters?
Zara Larson's tweet?
No.
Zara
No.
Larson. I forget. I don't know how to. The musical artist was like, "Quick, tell me who I need to fuck like right now." She like tweeted
Yeah.
it, and I was cracking up because it's so true. It's like whatever. TikTok, call me up if you're on TikTok and you could boost my shit and you want something from me. Let me know. I'm
Yep.
curious because it changes people's lives. Like that's I think more what makes me think about it is that these people's videos are getting boosted and whatever. And when you see the right people get boosted, like you see like a wholesome video or someone who's just kind of like came from nothing or whatever, and they get boosted and all of a sudden they have 500,000 followers and they're trying to keep up with it and they're thanking their followers in every single video after that because they just literally can't believe that so many people are following them now. Those people I am all for. It's like they are trying to make a career out of this. They're trying to build something, whatever. I'm fine with that. But yeah, to your point of like, do we need to keep elevating Alex Earl? Do we need to keep elevating Charlie D'Amelio? Do we need to keep like boosting these people? No, probably not. So I wonder where the line is there. I would love to talk to somebody with more information about that so I could know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We did M&M's, Kylie Jenner, fashion shows. Okay. So the last thing we need to discuss today, and I need you guys, I don't know what we're going to do about this. It's a crisis. It's a personal crisis. It's a living nightmare. And it's something that I've been dealing with for about 3 years now. I have to retake my driver's test
Yeah, can you explain that?
from the beginning. So,
You have to get in a car and drive in a driver's test.
yes. Yes. I have to sign up for a learner's permit first.
Wait.
Yeah. Yes. So listen to this. So and my license expired. My driver's license expired in December of 2019, which obviously was a couple months before COVID. I don't drive in New York ever. I don't have a car here. I take public transport all the time. I never am needing to drive. So it wasn't top of my list. It expired after Christmas, so I wasn't home. And I also just like didn't think about it. It wasn't, again, not top of my mind. Didn't get it renewed. Figured whatever, I'll go get it renewed later. Then COVID happened. DMV shut down for a million years. They made it available to renew your license online in New Jersey. And people are coming for me about this, saying that you could always renew your license online in New Jersey. No, you fucking couldn't, because I tried to renew my license before it expired online. They said you couldn't. It was not a thing, not a function that New Jersey DMV did. Are you going to tell me otherwise?
During COVID?
No.
Oh.
During COVID is when they made it possible.
Yes.
It was never possible
Okay.
until COVID.
Yes.
Because I tried to do this, and I tried to do this in 2016 also when I had to get it renewed.
You can't in New Jersey. You can
couldn't.
only do it during COVID. I did it during
Yes.
COVID. Yes.
Right. So most states, you could just order yourself a new ID, no problem, whatever. For New Jersey, before COVID, you had to go to the DMV and get your shit renewed. That's just how it was. I trust me, I tried a million fucking times to avoid the DMV. People are also asking me, why are you trying to get it renewed in New Jersey when you live in New York? Because you can't transfer an expired license to a new state without it being renewed. So I didn't want to be run into this
that's a pain
issue
in
of
the
having
ass.
to take, right. I didn't want to run into this issue of having to take a test all over again when I could just transfer it from one state to another. So I wanted to just renew it in New Jersey, transfer to New York. Because the DMVs were shut down for a long time, I couldn't go in. They instituted this new thing where you could just renew your license online, but only if it fell under like the COVID times. Mine had expired before COVID, so I didn't apply. So I had to wait until the DMVs opened back up. I was trying to make an appointment. They didn't want to fuck with me. They were like, you can't make an appointment, whatever. I tried to get somebody on the phone. It was a fucking nightmare. At this point, I'm starting to get a little lazy. I'm like, who cares? Whatever. I'll deal with this when I need to deal with this. Finally, it's come to a head where I can't be the one without a license all the time. What if it's an emergency situation? Like I need a rental car or something. Like I just need my fucking license now. And so I tried to make an appointment on the DMV website, and it turns out my license number is not to be found. I don't exist in the New Jersey DMV. Finally, we get somebody on the phone. I'm asking them about it, and they very condescendingly told me that it's been 3 years. Oh, as if that was like fucking absurd. They're like, oh, well, obviously you need to take your test from the beginning. You need to sign up for a permit. You need to take the test, wait 21 days, get the license, whole fucking thing.
Nope.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So in my mind, I either have to start over from scratch in New Jersey and then transfer to New York, or just start over from New York. So now I got to start over from New York, and I have to do all these things. I have to sign up for a permit. I have to take a written test. I have to take a driving test.
Do you have to take a driving test in the city?
Yes. I don't know. I might try to do like an outer borough of New York. Like I got to figure it out. Like, you know, I don't have to
take
get
the
it done
written test.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my
Which I'm gonna fail
God.
it. Like I'm gonna fail that test.
I failed mine my first time.
I was so good. I passed my test with flying colors, like 100 out of 100. I passed my driving test on the first try because I was fucking obsessed with getting my license when I got it.
I passed my driver's test first time.
And so I was like, that's all I wanted was to be able to like leave my house in the car.
I know.
Like, that's all I cared about.
So bad.
But again, I was 16 years old, 17 years old. I
can't believe you have
was
to
so
do that.
hyped. Now I'm 32 years old. I never drive, and I got to do this.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking crazy. And so I guess my 16 years of driving account for nothing. I don't know whether or not I'm going to have to like have a monitored driving. You know how you do like 6 hours of driving with an instructor?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to do that. It says on the New York thing that I have to do that for like a new license.
Because
right? That'd be insane.
Well,
but there's no record of me in New Jersey. They're like, oh no, sorry.
like
you're out.
You never had a license. But
yes.
This is an Ohio thing, and I know it's state to state, but
Yeah.
like I'm from Ohio, and after a certain age, you don't have to do that.
Maybe I fall into
think
that
it might
category.
be-
I fucking hope so.
I forget what age it is, but after that, a certain age, they're like, you're competent.
I hope to
probably.
God. I hope to God that's
You have
the
to like
case.
pass a driver's test, but you don't have to do all of the like
Right.
the driver's ed and the in cars. And
Right,
all
which
of
is
that.
fucking crazy.
Yeah,
So, all right.
you
So
should
I'm
be
hoping
fine.
that I'll be able to avoid all of that. In which case, like, it'll be relatively painless, except for like, I'm going to have to bust my ass to memorize all the rules of the road. They're also going to be different because New Jersey and New York are different. So I'm going to have to memorize a whole new set of rules, which, like, I don't know. And I haven't parallel parked in a decade. So that'll be a nightmare as well. And
God, I can't believe you have to take it in the city.
it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. It's
You're gonna be
so
going off the app?
insane.
What are we talking
That's
about?
what I'm saying. I have no
Yeah, you gotta go.
idea. Apparently,
Go to Staten Island.
I've been hearing about people say Staten Island is good to go. People say Chinatown is good, and that
Why would you go to Chinatown?
apparently Chanatown they'll just pass you down there. That's what I
You're
heard.
down Canal Street? No, babe.
Who knows? Who knows? Apparently they're very lax with their driver's licenses.
go
So we're gonna have to see. I have a friend of mine who recently got her license for the first time as an adult. I'm gonna have to ask her how I was texting her the other day asking information. My friend Yumi, shout out. She was telling me like all the stuff that she had to do, and I kept thinking like, no fucking way I'm gonna have to do all this. Like you just never had a license in your life, so that's why you had to do all these things. But I think I'm starting basically from her same square. So wish me luck on that. I'll keep you guys abreast, and I just. As of now, I'm not allowed out with the car.
This is inspiring me to go renew my license.
Do it.
because
Renew your fucking license.
It
Yeah,
expires
do it.
in 2024.
Yeah, so does mine.
Oh, I don't know. I would do it
And
anyway.
I need to get a New York ID.
Switch it over now.
I
That's
know,
what I'm
I
saying.
have to do
Switch
it.
it over because I should have done a million times to switch it over. But once I got it renewed in New Jersey, I was like, all right, it's not going to expire till 2019. Who cares? I'll figure it out. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then another problem that I've run into is you need to bring like a certain amount of things for your proof of person.
Yeah.
And so like I have my passport, obviously that only counts for like 4 points. But then if you bring your driver's license that you had, it counts for like the remaining 2. So it's all fine. I don't have my driver's license because I lost it a month after it expired.
shit.
If I this is making me sound like a really irresponsible person. I've never lost my license before in my life. This is the one and only time. And of course, like now it's biting me in the ass. I took it out because I got carded at a bar in Brooklyn and I put it in my coat pocket instead of back in my wallet. And then it must have fallen out of my coat pocket because I didn't have it. And I thought, oh, no big deal. I'm getting a new license anyway because it expired. Turns out like you got to keep that. Keep that until you have the new one in your hands because I don't know. These are just things that like I'm sure that I would have known years ago when I was doing all this and learning all this. But now having been out of like the learning how to drive game, I just like you forget how to act. So renew your licenses, make sure you keep all your shit together and don't end up like me where you have to take a driving test in New York City somewhere at the age of 32. Don't let that happen to you. Rip to me. Well, all right, ladies, what do you think? Do you think we covered everything?
Yeah, you want to drive us home?
Sorry, I can't. Mom won't let me take the car out without my fucking license. God, what a fucking nightmare. We'll see you guys next week.
That's nuts, Kelly. You can't go in Chinatown.